So I'm Steve Coulson, I'm a creative director at Campfire in New York, and we're a marketing agency that has worked with HBO in the past. We worked with them on True Blood, a couple other projects, and they partner with us on Game of Thrones. We tried to evoke a world, tell the story of Westeros and across the Narrow Sea, Essos, in a way that people could experience that time and that place. I don't know if you've ever travelled, you go to France or Morocco or India, but often the thing that reminds you of your travels is a sensory experience. It might be the smell of having walked through a spice market, or it might be the taste of food, French food for example. And often those memories come floating back to you through a sensory experience. You hear a sound or hear a piece of music. So we talked about trying to evoke a memory of a place that nobody had ever been to. I went to Ireland, went over to Belfast, when they were filming. I think it was the final week of filming, and got in a room with Dave and Dan and talked about what the sensory experiences could be, talked about what the food could be like, what the smells could be like, and they threw in a lot of suggestions. And then we went away and we worked on it, and we worked, obviously they were busy with the show and they were busy with post-production, but they looked at every piece as it was being built. They gave us tips on what the view from the top of the wall would look like. We actually constructed our top of the wall before they had constructed theirs. And when I went back and said, is it like this? They went, this is really good. This is kind of what ours is going to be like as well. So there was a lot of interaction between us. The script for The Crossroads Inn, we wrote, and then we sent it off to them, and I got lots of script notes back on this. These are things we should include. Why do you think about this? Let's not talk about this. So that was really a great experience. So we would launch a puzzle, not really with much fanfare, and I don't think there was any puzzle that we launched on the web that wasn't found within 30 seconds of it going up. And we'd have bits in the office about how quick somebody would find it, and it was like, before people in the office knew it was live, people were talking on winteriscoming.net, for example. Some of the smells were really easy to create, and they were right straight out of the box. So crusty bread from the Crossroads Inn. As soon as I smelt that, you could close your eyes and you were there and you could taste it. Some we really had to work hard at to get. So there's one called Salt Harbour, I think we called it for Pentos, which was a smell of fish and salt water and lots of kind of a combination of what you would smell if you stood on this sea harbour, this working docks. And we had to go through multiple iterations. It was kind of, is it not fishy enough? It's not quite salty enough, and they would go back and they would do an iteration. There's one smell that I loved called Cal's Herd, which was horse smell. And it was really strong. And if you've ever been out on a working farm, it's that smell. It's a smell of horse manure. And the first one we got was really strong. And I went to send it out, and there was some concern that, sometimes you get kind of journalists that want a snappy headline. And it was like, Game of Thrones smells of... so it was like, well, what's the correct strength? So we actually took that one down 2 or 3 levels. So I have a bottle back in the office that's like full strength Cal's Herd, and it's like, whoa. From day one, my dream would be to get Tom Clickier. If you've ever eaten at Clickier & Sons, the food there is almost George Martin-like. It's marrow bone and short ribs and duck and HBO had worked with Tom Clickier before on True Blood. He created True Blood cocktails. So they connected me with him, and immediately he got the idea. I brought a long list. Westeros.org has a fantastic concordance section that has listed every piece of food from the books. And I took that with me, and Tom went, I can cook that, I can cook that, or I can cook that, I can cook that. So, he and I worked back and forth on the menu a little bit, and we decided that we would do 5 regions. That way fans could, if they wanted to taste all 5 regions, they need to go all 5 days. And then, he cooked every dish for me. It was an amazing experience for Tom Clickier to cook and say, what do you think? Said, how does it taste? It tastes the way it should, and it tastes great to me. And then we went out on the trucks in New York and LA. I think everybody who went to the trucks really enjoyed the experience. Tom Colicchio came back with a whole list of foods, and some of them were kind of, you know, beef and pork, but then there was lots of unusual foods like squab and rabbit and head cheese. Oh, head cheese is amazing. Now, we'd already seen that Artisans video. There's an Artisans video about food. They talked about the food of Winterfell, and there was a shot of these pigs' heads in the background of Winterfell. And as soon as I saw head cheese, I was like, this is perfect, because it provides a bridge between what we're doing, what George Martin wrote about it, and what they're doing in the show as well. And it was good. Head cheese was good. Everybody had head cheese, but it was good. It was like bacon, right?